FN, man.
What do you think of the score?
I think it was a beautiful goal by Osimhen, an Olympic.
Go CLTFC.
What up?
What up? How's that echo in here? Welcome everybody to CLTFC Fan TV, for the fans, by the fans, damn it. I'm JT, that's Lee, and tonight we have a special guest from the land of Miessi, from Barbie land as well. I think about it sometimes with all the pink, but hey man, pink, Miami, that's hotness. Peter Brown from Football Miami TV. Thank you so much for being on with us, sir.
Hey guys,
let's mix it up. What's up?
How much?
Oh, by the way, y'all, I'm in New Bern, North Carolina, at a vacation place, and I'm in some garage. It's real hot. I'm getting kind of sweaty. And New Bern is home of like bears and all sorts of bears. So that's what's going on with the bear situation. All right, that's it. I'm good.
What kind of is that? Oh, never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone. Never mind. Just gonna keep going. I won't mention anything about it. What's up, Peter? How's it going, man?
Great. Everything's looking up down here in Miami in South Florida. Things are looking bright and shiny and a lot better than where we are in the standings, but things are looking bright.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I mean, well, we'll get into it, but we're definitely going to ruin the story, the script,
We'll see.
everything
Right?
above that, right? Yeah. See, I mean, Pesci doesn't. Yep, I agree, man. So
Pesci.
unless he gets a penalty or whatnot.
When you see things like that, that's just jealousy right there.
I mean, it's just because Ronaldo's.
I mean, I'm a little not jealous. I'm envious. I don't know the whole idea, to get such a gift, and I guess we don't have to get into it now, but I guess I am really curious how it was for you when you heard the news and it was really real, and you've gone from covering the team these years, and you're in the bottom of the table, and all of a sudden,
Still in the bottom of the table.
I mean, maybe it was out there in the ether for years. And Beckham, and next thing you know, it's like, oh shit, it's really happening. What was that like?
Yeah, you want to get into that now? I mean, it was amazing.
Well, yeah, go for it. Fuck it.
Well,
I mean, and it really, it's something that the ownership has worked on for a long time, and it's one of those things that you hear about forever. You hear about it for so long that you kind of want to stop hearing about it. Like, okay, fine.
Trust me.
When it really happens, I'll believe it, because I mean, I've heard for so long from really good sources that it's a done deal and it's happening, and then it just doesn't happen. Or you hear there's other suitors out there that have more money, and it's not going to happen. There's just no way it's going to happen, and then it does. And I think for me, it really hit me at his presentation. When I'm there watching him, and I'm just thinking, and it is actually after he was presented, and they've got the musical acts out there, and he's got his kids on the side of the field playing soccer, really where they shouldn't be, because it's really close to the stage, almost getting in the way and having to get shooed away every once in a while. And I'm seeing him standing out there playing with his kids, and I'm just thinking, this guy is going to call this stadium his home. And I'm going to get to see that every single week. And that's when it really hit. And it felt like it was kind of unreal that, I mean, he is such a big deal in the football world. I mean, everybody knows that. Anybody that says, they don't like Miessi or whatever, you'd rather have him on your team than not.
Yeah, of course not.
Right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's mixed feelings all about it, right? I mean, we can get into Miami here in a little bit, but let's roll it back a little bit, right?
Okay. Sorry. I jumped the gun. I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk. We're going to talk about Miami and Miessi, and how we're going to beat them this Friday, and all that good stuff coming up, right, Peter? So, have you been watching, other than Miami? Have you been watching any of the other games in the Leagues Cup?
A little bit. Catching some highlights here and there. Yeah. Loving that goalkeeper from, where was he? Jalisco, or I forget the goalkeeper that was during the penalty shootout is doing antics. He's doing the pantomime and silly strings out of his nose. Love that. But there's excitement in these games, which is cool. It's cool that the teams seem to be taking it serious. The people that don't seem to be taking it so serious, at least in some cities, a lot of cities that I've seen, are the fans. I see a lot of empty stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, the one and only game we got to host, I would say our tailgate was kind of soft. I think the crowd sort of picked up towards the end, but it was just a weird vibe for us because we were technically the away team. And so all the regular build up before a game wasn't there, right? I don't know. It just kind of felt flat in there. But once the game started kicked off, I mean, it was definitely more.
I don't think – hold on, though. They don't have a away team. I mean, there's obviously the team that comes to your stadium, or you play in someone else's stadium. But it was always supposed to be neutral. In other words, there's no away or home. The way they're presenting it.
I think that was more for the Mexican teams, right?
Yeah,
go ahead.
In the first Miessi game, that was technically an away game for Miami.
Right.
And Cruz Azul was the home team, even though it was in our stadium, because clearly they don't have, a home stadium.
Yeah, I mean, technically you don't either.
Well, we do. We actually will have two, more than most.
Are you wishing yours was bigger now that Messi's there? Like, damn it, man.
No, because I know Miessi will leave someday. And I know the reality of the sports market that I live in. And a lot of the people that are packing the stands now are there solely to see Miessi. Hopefully, some of them are convinced to stick around once he leaves.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure. So if going ahead and building a, say, 40,000 seat stadium is just, it's stupid, because the reality, and the talks are that they are going to bump it up at Miami Freedom Park potentially to 30. They were talking 25. They might somehow add another 5,000 seats to it. But that's pushed no more than that. I mean, because once he's gone, we may be back down to 18,000.
You mean once he's gone from the pitch and when they actually leave in the 70th minute? You mean that kind of gone?
No,
well, that happens
when he finally retires.
Leaving the stands.
No, if you've seen any of our vlogs, I've shown that you know, and it irritates me.
Yeah. What do you think it does to the players? They're like, all right, fuck.
Yeah, it's 70th minute he goes off the field, and so do all the fans, and that's just
that's sad though. That's plastic fans there.
But I mean, look, that I always say that's a South Florida thing, but I don't know. Does that happen in other cities? Has that happened in Charlotte?
No, not yet.
No,
we stick around, man. I mean, the good thing about Charlotte is even after the game's over, the players come up to the fans and hang out. Like they get the kids gloves, jerseys, whatever. So. And then we got the man of the match with the crown, where we have this drone set up, and it's right inside the supporter section, so we can all kind of stand around it. So there's a reason for us to sort of hang around after the game, right?
And the stadium is downtown, so when you leave, you can continue your night, a block away or whatever. You don't have to leave.
And this is not a Inter Miami thing or any, people like want to, say once Miessi leaves, so do all the fans. I saw that in the chat. Will some of them for sure will, but that's just a South Florida sports fan. It happens at Miami Dolphins matches or games, whatever you call them. When the Jets come to town, it's more Jets fans than Dolphins. It happens at every sporting event here. People want to just beat the rush. And I tend to go the opposite direction and work towards being the last person to leave. Therefore, I also have no traffic.
I mean, you win in either way, right? I mean, we're typically right outside the supporter section after the game ends, and so that way we can interview the fans. So we get to enjoy the rush.
Game we are.
Well, yeah, every home game, damn it.
And home game right outside the gate. What's it? Gate 4, gate 3, gate 3. Anyway,
supporters entrance.
Yeah.
These Leagues Cup games, I don't know how they are in Charlotte. I know how they were in Dallas, but I know how they are here. They're expensive. And so if you paid a couple $100 to see a game, I would want to see the whole game.
Yeah, but is it more expensive for you guys because the Miessi effect, right? Because they were telling us just to roll down there. Like the team had talked about possibly getting some buses and busing us down there and the tickets and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like $230 for a ticket.
Sounds about right.
I was like, no, if we were playing Dallas, it would be $30, right? I mean,
but I haven't watched. I don't know the answer to this question, but have you guys hosted a Leagues Cup match yet?
Yeah, we hosted one against who was it? Cruz Azul or something like that.
Okay, so
no, it was Necaxis.
Yeah. What were the ticket prices like there?
Well, so for us, we're season ticket holders because we didn't host a playoff game or anything last year. We have one ticket built into our season ticket package this year, so essentially it was free. But I think the face value of it was like $30, if that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So we have in our season ticket holder package 2 free games, 2 extra games, but they already gave us those games for the U.S. Open Cup.
Right.
So we were charged full price, and the cheapest ticket I saw on any game was like around $120, and that was the last game I went to, and it was behind the visiting goal. And so I'm sitting with a lot of Orlando fans, but it was around 120 before all the Ticketmaster fees. The team did give, I think, like a $15 discount. The biggest issue down here that fans are upset about is that the team hasn't done anything for the season ticket holders as far as like an advanced ticket window for us season ticket holders to go in there for an extra day or extra 3 hours, whatever the case is, to go and secure our seats before they open it up to the general public. They have not done that. And so you know, I'm not gonna make it to the Charlotte game, and this will be my first Leagues Cup game I'm gonna miss. I couldn't get a ticket. I wasn't fast enough.
That's kind of shitty, right?
I don't have my bell with me. I usually have this bell. It's a thing. But my man, I'll just give you that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I mean, technically, I can buy a ticket, but because I think it's 30%, or somebody showed this on Twitter, that it was somewhere around 30% of the tickets sold are already up for resale, 30% or something around there. So, I mean, I technically can buy a ticket, but I'm not spending $400 to buy it to go.
Why would you, right? I mean, I honestly think it's bullshit. I don't know if that's an MLS thing or if it's more to do with the Leagues Cup. I know
I've heard Leagues Cup is driving the pricing and all these rules. So everybody that is complaining, like myself, about the ticketing, it's not so much the team as much as the Leagues Cup. And I saw One Goal. She's one of ours, and she's right. Ticket the parking was $35 for a regular season game, and during Leagues Cup, at least, it's been gone up to $50.
Right. And I mean, it is that Miessi effect. I mean, I know once, you know, there was rumors. I mean, everybody from Charlotte, at least, because basically threw up their tickets to pay for their season tickets for next season, you know? So it'll be interesting again to see how the tickets price out next year. If it's, if the club and everybody's going to raise it up because of that Miami deal or Miessi deal, or if they're actually going to like try to keep tickets as close to possible.
Well, at least for this year, I mean, what you saw in Dallas, I mean, those prices were equally as high as, you know, Inter Miami played Dallas, and the tickets were like $400.
Yeah, but you know, I wish I looked at ticket prices last week against Houston just to see if the price was the same sort of price down in Houston. I don't know if somebody's on here that went to the Houston game, you know, were your tickets through the roof, or was it just
I'm sure it's the Miessi thing.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, you're going to see this. Now, I wonder whenever we play, I mean, I think we play in Charlotte again later in this year.
October.
Right. And word is you guys are not going to put down turf, and rumors are that Miessi does not want to play on turf.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to Atlanta, so we'll see how that goes first, right?
So, yeah. So the assumption is he won't play at either of those games.
Right.
And so it'll be interesting to see, does your ownership, raise up the prices for the Miessi game?
Oh, they're already raised up.
Play? Ooh, you'll have some mad fans.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, and people that live in the area that are not really Charlotte fans just want to see Miessi, right?
I'm sure you got some Argentinians in Charlotte.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of them. So being English, I know that because of the World Cup and everything else. But you know, we've opened up the upper bowl, and they slowly open it up around. You know, they open up certain sections. The upper bowl is selling for like $150. Is the cheapest ticket right now.
But it's not so much about just selling the amount of tickets. They want to maximize each ticket.
Yeah, and I guess they have like dynamic pricing too, right?
Yeah,
so as it goes up, I mean, in the supporter section to get a ticket right now, I think the cheapest one is right around $300, where face value is like $30.
Yeah, what's wrong with that dynamic pricing is, and this happened to me in the first Miessi game. You log in and you see the prices $175 for that corner seat. That's really kind of crap. Okay, fine. You go to try to buy it. You put it in your cart. It instantly says that seat is no longer available. You do that about 10 times. And every single time you go back in to pick a new seat, you see that the prices are going up.
Yeah.
They're dynamically going up every minute you're in there.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Should be a crime.
100%. It should be a crime, 100%.
It's bullshit.
But, you know, again, I mean, MLS has got to make their money back on that deal. Whatever backroom cash is going to Miessi, right? He's going to get it.
This is not a Miami thing. All the owners are in on it. It's single entity ownership.
Yeah.
Whatever money we make, y'all making too.
Yeah. No,
I think just brought up they just announced today, right? Earlier that our game at Miami, the MLS on the 20th, has now been bumped. Because one of us will win the game.
No, we will. We definitely will.
The day before.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to win.
Well, and we will. You know, that's it. We're going to have one of our one of our weaker players come out and just two-tackle Miessi, man, and take him out in the first 60 seconds, and we'll be good to go.
It's only a matter of time before somebody does try to do that. It brings me back to when Beckham, there's that story when Beckham played his first game, and I don't remember the player's name, but a opposing team member went in for a nasty slide tackle and, looked down at Miessi and just said, "Welcome to MLS."
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't wish any harm on him, right? I mean, as humans,
if he could take a knock and miss, a game that your guys are in, you wouldn't mind.
No, I mean, exactly, right? I mean, read between the lines sort of thing, right?
That's an interesting thing. Like, what fans would rather Miessi not play, so the likelihood of us winning is greater, as opposed to seeing the best soccer player in the history of the game, arguably, play on the pitch.
That's a good question for you guys. How do you feel? Would you rather Miessi be there or not?
I would rather see him.
To me, I don't care either way, right? I mean, I'm not a Miessi fanboy by any means, but I mean, I appreciate how good he is and what he does for the sport, right? I mean, you cannot not like him for that. But personally, like, I'm not all up in arms like, I got to see Miessi play and all this other stuff. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if he plays, he plays. If he doesn't, like you said earlier, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people that bought tickets that are going to be upset. But I mean, it's like that FOMO sort of thing, right? It was like scared of missing out. And,
whether you're a Miessi fan, and look, before he joined Inter Miami, I wasn't the biggest Miessi fan, but I appreciated what he does. In my house, I married a Brazilian. We're not allowed to really cheer for Argentinians because that's the way Brazilians roll. And so, I have a pass now that he's wearing pink. But so we were never really cheering for Miessi per se. But you got, whether he's on your team or not, you want to see the best in person.
Yeah. Well, that's why I still got 2 of my tickets left.
Hey, you know what? We want to see the best, but we now want to talk about the best team in Charlotte, Charlotte FC. It's CLTFC Fan TV. I'm coming to you live from New Bern, North Carolina. If anyone's on the eastern side of the state, I'm hanging out in this hot, there's life jackets behind me, some sort of vacation home garage, and I got some bears on my back.
I think I've been there, Newburgh. I think I've been there. I think I had dinner there once.
It really is. So, Lee, how do you feel? You wrote me right after the game on, you get Monday night, right? Yeah, Monday night. And said, what did you say? My God, they did. Or no, you said, damn, they did it.
No, I said Charlotte's going to Charlotte, man, because I tweeted right before all the goals started happening. I was like, damn, we need a miracle on Mint Street. And then we scored. And then when they kicked it off, they passed it back to the defender, and then he scored for us. And, man, we love on goal in Charlotte, man. He's like one of our unsung heroes. But, I mean, overall, JT, what did you think of the game, how we played?
Well, the first half, I was definitely like, oh, man, this ain't so great, whatever. I really was thinking we would not win. And obviously they scored on us. And I'm always thinking, what's going to happen at halftime? What's going to be said? But for Latanzio to bring in the 2 subs early in the 60th minute, although Swiderski wasn't so happy about it, it was just crazy. When they tied it up, I figured we were going to go to whatever, the penalty kicks, whatever you would call them at the end of the game, which is kind of fun. I want to know Peter's opinion of that too, with the Leagues Cup and how they go straight to penalties. But the idea that they brought in Ajiman for Swiderski, he does his thing, and just his gait when he runs and his size and scores that goal. I was like, all right, we're going to be tired. We're going to do that. And then before you could blink, I mean, I listened to the radio broadcast. Jessica Charman was like, she didn't even see it. You're like, what the hell just happened? I thought Bronico scored at first. I was like, oh, shit. But then to realize it was own goal. But from that distance, I mean, how often have y'all seen such a bad own goal? And that, the keeper had to be like, he's just like back there doing whatever. He's like, oh, shit, he's actually kicking it back to me. And then he ran and he kind of slid instead of dove with his hand. But that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we would do some luck, though, man. Like, normally we're the ones gifting goals, right? And giving away own goals and that kind of stuff. So it was nice for us to be on the other side of that for sure. Peter, have y'all played Houston yet this year? Or
I think we might have played them earlier in the year, and I saw the highlights for that game. I honestly, the way it was starting and everything, I thought Houston was going to win. Didn't they? I think they scored first, right?
Yeah, it was 1-0 going into halftime to Houston.
To me, I'm just watching the highlights. I didn't watch the full game, but I thought Houston was the better team from the highlights. For a while.
I mean, I will say that they did really good about making the pitch small for us, right, and just basically putting 11 men behind the ball. And then when they saw the opportunity, they just hit us on the counter. And that back line's pretty slow and not as bad as Miami's back line, but they were able to get in there and score a goal. I mean, the goal they did score, was actually a pretty good goal. I guess I can say that now since we won, but overall, I think we put the pressure on, man. So that's it.
Yeah, well, at halftime, Lattanzio said, or whatever, people had commented that it seemed he kind of figured out. And just so you know, Peter, I'm the newer fan. I don't know as much as most people on this watching this show or anything. But that's good. I represent the lay people, the newer fans there are. But nonetheless, he was saying Lattanzio made the adjustment to press them in a certain way that broke down their defense, and it really worked. And so the last, 6 games we've had in the MLS, Peter, our adjustments or not adjustments or whatever the hell's happened at halftime have been terrible. We always come out at half worse than we were, giving goals, not playing lackadaisical, whatever. And then the subs come in so late. So now it feels like they have finally got their shit together. And that's why I'm so thankful for Leagues Cup. It's like Leagues Cup, whatever, this new thing. But my gosh, it means something to us because it's given us momentum. And we're stoked with it.
Yeah, you get a chance to get in the Champions Cup or whatever they're calling it now, Champions Cup. Right. And I think there's like $4 million win as well, something like that. So it's a tournament that should mean something. I always say that about the U.S. Open Cup as well. Nobody seems to care about that, but these tournaments should mean something. They should be because they're fun, and we always hear about who's better, the MLS or Liga MX, and this is a tournament where for once it's not in the MLS preseason. Our teams are in form. Yeah. It's early in their season, but at least they've had a few games under their belt. And so, I mean, it's fun to see how you match up against your counterparts within the region.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you think about with the Leagues Cup and like us having to take off almost a month, right, or more for the tournament? Would you prefer it to be like sprinkled in like the U.S. Open, where it goes, we can still continue to play, or do you like the fact that it stopped? I mean, at first I was like not excited about about this Leagues Cup, but now we've kind of progressed further into it. I'm all in. So
that's the thing. If you get knocked out early or whatever,
you're sitting for a month.
You're sitting. That to me sounds shitty.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, Peter.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about it, sprinkling it in. I think the only thing I could think of is maybe it may have some conflicts with the U.S. Open because that's how that tournament is currently played, sprinkled in. You play them on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the Premier League or the English in general, right? I mean, they do the FA Cup, they do the Europa Cup, they do the
and they figure it
Champions,
out.
And they so there's always a game, right? There's always a game on to watch. And
but having said that too, those teams have a lot more depth than MLS teams do. So if you're gonna play them both simultaneously, you're gonna have to prioritize which is more important, MLS League or Leagues Cup.
And I think that comes down to the issue with the MLS rules and how they we can't have much depth, right?
Well, yeah, sure.
So I think, to me personally, that's the biggest issue versus like, what do you focus on more? I mean, technically, I would say since there's like 9-10 teams now that can get into the playoffs, I mean, all you have to do is sneak in, right?
Yeah, even we can make it.
And it might come down to the last game of the season too.
Again, it happened a couple of years ago that way.
Right.
Against we played Cincinnati in like a monsoon, I think it was. It was pretty bad.
All right. So we're gonna try something, right? Hopefully this works. Well, we're gonna bring a fan in and see what questions they have to say. So I don't know who's calling in, but it's a phone number. I'm not gonna put it out there on the web. So yeah, let's see what happens, man. You there? You're gonna have to mute the YouTube, please.
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. My question was going to be, who do you think is going to replace Byrne on the back line this Friday?
Byrne, I think personally, I would say a fool's going to come in. And like I said, if you could mute YouTube while you're on the line.
No, you're good.
I was going to say a fool. We get the feedback. A fool needs to be the one that fills in my opinion. So, with that being said, we'll see what happens.
And I think that worked pretty good, Lee. But also, I want to say about old Harrison, a fool, is his age will just be interesting to see if he can go that long. If he starts, who comes in for him and in the 70th or 65th if they got to sub him out?
I mean, as we also got Jones, right? So he's healthy now, so that'll be interesting.
Nice. Hey, Lee,
Yeah.
It works, buddy.
I know, but I'm getting feedback. I don't know if you can hear the feedback.
I think it's looping back, but it comes in and out. I think it's on.
Well, it's because I hit the mute button on that channel, so that way it doesn't give us the feedback. So,
well, no, not towards you. I wasn't sending that towards you. I was
Hilarious.
sending that to
Hilarious. Hey,
One
man,
World, One Goal, one of our faithful.
Get it out there more.
Yeah,
one of our faithful One World, One Goal had said, "Oh, he takes calls live, Peter. Imagine, ha ha ha."
Yeah,
I think she's taking a hey, hint, 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 Peter. But
so we got another. We're gonna try it again. We got one more. We're gonna see how.
I have the technology to go live as well. I prefer the voicemail just because
Hey, well, the thing is, there's two of us, and one of you. I don't know how that works on your end, but I could, if I had to do that, and that's why you have like.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep. All right, fuck it. We're gonna have to try to figure out why that feedback comes in. Sorry, folks. We'll try again next week for sure. We're trying to bring up the what am I trying to say?
You know what you got to do? You gotta mute Peter and myself when you're talking to them. It's us coming through probably.
Yeah. Well, and me too, right? That's the problem. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're the problem, Lee.
Yeah, I'm always the problem. Sorry, guys. We'll try it again. We appreciate the folks that tried to call in, but
hey, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it.
I'll work on it this week and have it ready for Thursday. How about that? So, yeah. Anyways, with that being said, let's move on, right? So the Houston game I thought was pretty good. We won. We made it to the next round. We play Miami. It's probably the biggest game in your
history.
We'll see how it goes.
In our short history, I would say, which is interesting because like we were saying earlier, the League's Cup, it's it's such a new thing. How much does it really matter? Blah blah blah. But it matters to the players on the field, and we're playing our top guys, and it's great to be winning, and we're not sitting home just watching it. So yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's it. And no, I don't have a internet problem. It's more of a routing of the internet feed in and out, and so you guys can hear it as well. So that's my problem. So I gotta work on some.
See, people that don't actually run the board and run like Lee's doing don't understand. So I'm in your same position, Lee, when I'm doing it. I'm the producer / host at the same time, and
there's so much going on, man. There's so much going on, But yeah, so. It's hard to test on your own, right? You can't call in and hear yourself talking, right? So, we'll figure it out. We'll have it figured out by next Wednesday. I think I'm like 1 or 2 seconds away.
We got to have Peter back on because we're going to be playing you 2 more times, Peter.
Yeah, that's true too. So, yeah, I mean, moving on, right? So I think we did pretty good against Houston. I think a fool is probably going to be our starting left back. I'd be curious to see if Jones comes in for Privet, which I really don't like personally. But it is what it is. I think that's probably going to be move, and then Vargas or Merrim. I think Vargas will probably start. That's it.
Hold on, you said Jones would come in for Privet?
Yeah.
And then, well, who's going to take? You're saying Awful, and then Jones.
Awful would be left back. Jones would come in and center back for Privet, and then Vargas would probably start over Merrim again.
And then Jalen's right back.
Yeah.
I don't know what's between Jalen and Ajman, but just in general, Jalen is giving some great assists and bringing it up the field really well.
Yeah, I mean they posted on Twitter they've been just working on that sort of play in practice for between them two after practice, kind of just knocking it around. And yeah, I tell you what, need a little more PSO money invested in the show. Well, you know what, man? I believe there's a donate button too, man. So if y'all
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
hit that,
Hit that button,
that
man.
works as well.
That button.
So yeah, so I don't know, man. I think Privet's done pretty good. So anyway, so yeah, and that's right. He needs to start every damn game. But yeah, overall, man, I think it's good. Charlotte is finally starting to play the same sort of starting 11. We're getting some consistency behind us. I believe I read a stat where we haven't lost. We've only lost one game out of the last 10. I mean, 6 of those were draws, but so, yeah.
Yeah, but at least we had all of them like went together. But to that point, Lee, it's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier. And Peter kind of mentioned it with, it's the biggest game in our history. With such a short history, this is the first time we've had like the feeling of a winning streak. Like we're doing something. We're really getting a feeling, of what it's like to be doing well, albeit the league's cut and not our primary goal. But at the same time, it's like, all right, so this is how it feels to be winning.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I really would like to see, even though I would like for us to beat Miami in regular time, but for Kalina to stand there in front of Miessi and save that penalty, because
Good luck with that.
I mean, he's not really a good penalty taker, is he?
Good luck with beating Miami in regular time, though. That's the thing. It's I
mean, Dallas about pulled it off, man.
I mean, we're a brand new team now. It's not just Miessi. He's brought his buddies and a new coach, a revitalized team. So it's not going to be as easy as you guys like to think.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't. Lee's doing that talking. I'm not.
No. I mean, somebody's got to beat Miami at some point with Miessi in the.
It almost happened.
Oh, we can beat Miami. I'm not saying we can't beat Miami. I ain't saying that shit.
And what are you saying?
I'm saying I'm not scared.
I'm not scared either. I just, after watching Dallas almost put it over on Miami, man,
Lee's just a little overconfident, is what I would say.
Man, you're all in or you're not, man. You're all in or you're not.
Lee is an even keel, man, for the most part, unless he gets a little cranked up game time.
Yeah. I mean, this is a valid point, right? We're gonna end up fouling somebody outside the box and Miessi and his free kick stunts, man. That's honestly the one thing I'm more worried about than anything is just those free kicks.
And you should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I got nothing more to say about that.
There's nothing else to say, right? So yeah. And, Mark's our other goalkeeper. I guess our second string goalkeeper now, which should be first, but then I had to eat crow because I'm pretty good. He would go on to score after saving a penalty. So there's that. Yeah. Anyways, but
I'll put our goalkeeper up, Drake Callender, up against yours any day. I mean, I think our young guy is strong. He's got a bright future. Probably, I don't know how much longer he'll be in MLS. He's that good.
Yeah. You think he's that good?
Yeah, I do. I mean, maybe it might take a couple more years, but I think I've said this on our show several times. That the one thing with Miessi being here is that the spotlight is on us. Everybody in the world is watching Miami games.
Yeah.
So this is a chance for all these players to move up in their career. Somebody's going to notice them for good or bad. And I think Drake Callender definitely has potential to get snatched up by some, European team. Maybe, gets loaned out or something to a lower, maybe a League Two team or something, or just a lower level Premier League team or something like that to, earn his stripes. But I think he's that good. I think you could see him spending more time with the U.S. national team. He's gotten one call up so far, but
right.
And I'm not saying he's going to be the star. It's still too early, but I think he has an opportunity to move on beyond MLS for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for the MLS, right? I mean, like you said, a lot more eyes are on the league. I'm sure you guys on your socials, like your personal socials, Miami TV, have seen a lot more uptick in traffic and that kind of thing too, right? So, I mean, that's great for you guys, right? But you know, he's
Yeah,
gonna
look,
lose, man. He's gonna lose.
Hey everybody. I'm doing this in some hot ass garage in New Bern with kids walking behind me and some bear pictures. Lee still got his old Roscoe flag up in the background, got the camera up too high, and then Miessi comes around and Peter's got this beautiful background. He's got his merch on. He's looking tight. His lighting's good. He's got that great mic in front of him.
So you're just gonna dog me out, man. No,
hey, we need to have a counter on how many times we say Miessi in this show.
Yeah, we should be drinking. We should be drinking every time Miessi's mentioned.
Just keep saying it. Your numbers go up every time you say it. Your numbers go up.
That's right. Hope that algorithm, folks.
Exactly. Next thing you know, you're gonna have people from India, Morocco, Argentina, all over the world chiming in on your lives.
Yeah. But no, one day I'll get a fancy graphic to put behind me like Peter has there. I just need to find me a graphic designer that can do such a thing.
Oh, I made that.
Did you?
Of course.
Of course he did.
Yeah. So
I am that graphic designer.
We'll talk about that offline. So yeah. But yeah, so somebody put in number 17 earlier, JT. So what's number 17 about?
Nothing, because I didn't get that far.
What?
I'm on vacation, man. I got here like an hour before the show. I only got to 11. I got to 11.
11. All right, 11 then. Probably already talked about it. No one else.
We already talked about it. Jalen and Ajaman's connections.
Yeah, that's it. Pick a number,
Rig.
Peter. Between 1 and 10.
Rig.
All right, here, Edward Gonzalez has 9 on the.
All right, 9 it is. 9 it is.
How'd you feel Bender did when he came in, old Lee?
I mean, I don't think he affected the game as much as he normally can. But that's just me. I would, I'm a Bender fan, so I would like to see him start, but for whatever reason.
And so many people are, of course, the ladies and such as well.
Benny.
It's like Benny. Where does he come in? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he could come in for Arfield maybe after 60, 70 minutes. So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting too because we got that new signing Breck or whatever, right? It'd be interesting to see if he starts or if. Personally, I think he'll probably come in around the same time he did last game against Miami, just because he's not used to the heat and that kind of stuff. So it's a matter of just kind of getting him ready.
It is hot down here, and it's not just the heat. The humidity. I heard the commentators in the Inter Miami Dallas game talking about how it was technically hotter in Dallas, but they would rather play in Dallas than in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, we got the humidity in North Carolina too.
It's hot and it's heavy. It's tough to play down here right now. That's why it looks like they've moved the game back to 8:30 just to hopefully it's a little cooler, but it's hot.
Damn, when we played in Dallas, it was like what 103 on the pitch when they started.
It was over 100, yeah.
That was crazy.
So I played in this tournament Saturday. I couldn't make it back out Sunday because I was wore the hell out, man. And it was hot. Like we played 2 games on Saturday, right? And like it was turf there as well, and you could like our feet were like burning almost. It was that hot. You could just feel it come up, man.
What's wrong with you guys? You don't like grass up there?
No. But it depends on what kind we're talking about. Yeah. So, but no, seriously, it was it was one of those community fields too for us at least, right? And Tepper's like with Tepper and Bank of America Stadium. I mean, he's got Beyonce playing tonight, right? So that's his reason behind that.
We had turf, fake turf, whatever, because Beyonce is playing tonight.
Yeah,
which that concert, I didn't realize. I heard this because it's been a big story, obviously, but that concert was planned 2 years in advance before the Leagues Cup was even maybe not a thought, but even came out as a reality. So anyone that got mad about the timing and it takes 3 days to set up or whatever, old Queen Bee was landing that beehive in Bank of America Stadium a long time before Leagues Cup was rolling anything out.
Yeah, I think was it the Fan Festo that kind of screwed us for the Houston game, or the was it Houston or the game before that? Hell, all these games, man, all these games.
There's so many games.
What you gonna say, Peter?
I saw Ramon Martinez in the comments. Says turf fields are more aesthetically pleasing. I'm assuming he's speaking of artificial turfs, and he's crazy.
That's sarcastic, man.
They're more synthetically pleasing, is what he meant to write.
Yeah, we
they're awful. They're awful to look at. They're awful I mean, you see a beautifully manicured, real green grass, and it's just like perfect. I mean, and we got a great grounds crew down here. I mean, look, we had a horrendous rainstorm before the Orlando game, and they still were able to play on that field because it's so well taken care of. You know.
Hey, where I went to college, NC State University, go Pack. They have turf management. You can get a bachelor's degree in turf management.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we have to deal with the Panthers playing in there. We're not lucky enough to have our own soccer-specific stadium.
Well, we're gonna have two. So
I know, man. Could you maybe roll one up the 95 and let us borrow it? You know?
I mean, it looks like it could be transported. It is just a metal.
I mean, did y'all just like roll in some shit to add in the corners and that kind of stuff too?
Yeah, they took the stands from the Formula One race at the Hard Rock Stadium. They had some temporary stands there. They just said, "Yeah, we'll take those," and they put those in the corner. They look very kind of temporary. They don't look great, but
the whole stadium
does the job, I guess. It gets 3,000 more butts in the stands.
That's right. That's right. That's it. So, JT, number one.
I wrote this during the game. It seemed like Vargas, because Vargas got the start, and we were wondering how he would do instead of Merrim.
Mm-hmm.
He did not look good in that first half starting.
No, I mean, Merrim hasn't looked that good either, though.
Say what?
I said Merrim hasn't looked that good either, though.
I'm not debating that. That's the reason Vargas was in. I'm just saying Vargas did not look good.
Yeah.
I was hoping Vargas would come in and do well enough to be like, hell yeah, this is who needs to start. And be like, you know, the last, not fully last piece, but of this kind of cohesion of the starting 11. Yeah. And he didn't step up to getting the start.
Yeah, that's true. Would Gaines be better at that? I think Gaines is actually injured, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't even think he's eligible to play, but I could be wrong. See, Brent, you keep saying that we played like shit. I totally disagree with the statement. I don't think we played that bad. We just
the first half was.
You're going to play like that on Friday too.
No, I think we played okay. I mean, like I said, we looked like we were, you know, we got beat on the counter often, you know, and that just kind of made us look like we were out of sorts, in my opinion. So I don't know.
And look, if you give us now this revitalized Miami team, you give us those kind of moments, and Messi's going to, you know, score or assist on a couple goals right there for you. You know, our defense, sure, we may give up a couple, but our offense can overtake that. You know.
Yeah. No, and I agree. Right. I think this game seriously is going to come down to more clinical finishing, and we all know in the MLS that's not really a thing. But with somebody like Miessi in your team, you know, all it takes is one chance to change the whole.
I didn't write it down, but I do have a thought because I remember thinking about it. I wonder how it works with the opposing teams, and this is the 90th time of saying Miessi. Who, if they talk ahead of the schedule about who's going to be the one trying to exchange the jersey with them? Because everyone on the opposing team, you're assuming, would love to have a game-worn Miessi jersey playing against them, whatever. But who are they like? Listen, man, that's me, or you know, who gets? How do they work that out?
I mean, to answer this question here, can Capetti play? Right, he's Argentinian. I would assume that if he was playing, he'll get it. But however, he's injured and not going to play, so
he won't get it.
No, he's not. I'm sure he might fly down there with the team just because, right? But you know, that's a good question. I mean, you know, I don't know. I just say, why don't they just auction them off and send it to charity?
In the last game, you know, it was the Argentinian player, I forgot his name, that got the shirt. And if I read the body language right, it looked like Miessi made the offer. That's kind of, it was hard to tell, but that's kind of how it made, you know, like, hey, you know. So maybe he's
like an inside deal. It's like Miessi, like someone goes over to the opposing teams, like, listen, just so you know, Miessi likes what Swiderski's doing, so he's going to give him his jersey.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, right?
Miessi has to pick.
Oh, well, he's been giving it to other countrymen, right? For the most part.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. But I had this question I was asking my co-host who's in the chat, Ed. Uncle
He's scared
Ed,
to come on the show, by the way.
Huh?
It's 2 times we've invited both of y'all on the show, and only Peter showed up. I think Ed's scared.
He works at night. He should be working right now. He might be getting in trouble.
Oh, we can't call him out then.
So,
sorry, Ed, but you could have snuck away and had your lunch break for an hour.
he's working. I don't know. What can I tell you?
Keep the earbud in.
I work during the day and I work from home, so it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Look, he says there I'm supposed to be working.
Man. We're just talking
So, but no. So what I asked him the question, like, so Messi's now getting a collection of jerseys.
Yeah.
What does he do with all these jerseys? Does he keep them, or does he just throw them in the trash? Does he throw them to the kit manager and just tell them to do whatever they want? I mean, because it takes me back to, I remember an old MLS video. They did some TV stuff years and years ago, and I don't remember which player it was. It was one of those older DC United defenders, played with the U.S. national team. I can't remember his name right now. But he was showing at his house where he had framed. Now, I'm not saying Messi's going to frame these, but he had kept some of the most important jerseys that he had swapped and stuff like that.
Yep.
So does Miessi? And again, I know he wouldn't frame these; they're not that important. But would he keep them, or is he just go, yeah, whatever? What do I want? What do I want?
Find him at the Goodwill in Coral Gables. That's where they're going to be.
You know what he does with them? He wears them on Sundays when he's not playing and cuts the grass in them, man. You know?
That's it. Yeah, Miessi cutting the grass like I do. That's it.
He's got turf in his lawn. That's the thing. He's getting ready to come to Charlotte. Yeah.
You don't have any grass to cut when you're living in a penthouse, when you got the entire floor to yourself.
Oh, well, that might be his thing, though, right? Everybody has to have that one thing where you get away from regular day, stuff. So
he got grass to grow in the balcony on his penthouse. He just goes out there.
Hey, thanks, Wesley. We appreciate it. So, Peter, how is Miami within the MLS cap rules, man? How are you guys skirting that, man?
Well, we cheat. Don't you guys know that?
Yeah, we do. I mean, y'all couldn't even get it right earlier, like last season or the season before, right?
A couple seasons ago. Yeah. This is our last year of our penalty. But clearly, because we've gotten caught before, they're playing within the rules 100% now. So how are they able to do it? Look, we were bad for a reason. Yeah. We don't have very many good players, and those good players that we did have, they all got injured. So the injury, they're still paying those players, but we shed a lot of money here. Getting rid of players like Bryce Duke, who Montreal overpaid for probably, but he's working out for them. He's starting and he's being a playmaker and he's doing a good job there. And they also got Ariel Lassiter, and I think it was over $1 million in GAM. So they made lots of deals like that so that, they could have a lot of GAM and TAM and all that kind of funny money.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I've always said this. I've always said the problem with Inter Miami cheating before and getting caught cheating is that they didn't tell MLS. Teams in MLS forever have cheated. And there's been plenty of articles out there where general managers privately, they don't have 37 EPs. But how general managers of teams cheat all the time. They just don't do it so egregiously. But at the end of the day, if you have MLS in your back pocket, if you're working with them, they'll help you cheat.
Yeah.
They'll bend the rules.
I mean, it is, right? I mean, but it's just not the Miessi thing. So, I mean, is this Miessi fan? I mean, we're playing Miami, so it's hard not to talk about Miessi this week, right? But
you guys talked a lot of Charlotte. I was quiet for a little while.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the thing is, I mean, you guys have brought other star players in as well. It's not just Miessi, right? I mean, obviously Messi's the bigger name, and it's like, how the hell are y'all skirting around the salary cap and all this other stuff?
So they signed Miessi as a DP. That's only $650,000 to the cap.
Right.
Busquets, they signed him as a DP. $650,000 to the cap. They got rid of Pizarro.
Okay.
So So they have that DP spot. And then we have Campana as a young DP. So those are our 3 DPs. The only other expensive player, would be Jordi Alba. How they got Jordi Alba, cheap, I don't know. There's also possibilities of talking to a player, and this happened with some MLS teams in the past where you talk them into taking a low salary for the 6-month deal
or whatever.
What's that?
What they call it, like the back end sort of deal, right? You take it cheap the first year and pick it up the second year, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what happened with Gregory in some ways. Gregory was signed as a TAM player, our captain, who's hurt, and then in the offseason, he became a DP, and just because he got his annual increase or what have you. He became a DP. Now they've had to buy down his contract using TAM money to make him a non-DP again.
Yeah. So what do you think about moving forward on this, right? With the MLS, I mean, there's been rumors that there's going to be some changes next year, right? They're going to raise the salary cap and yada yada yada. I mean, at some point, right? I understand why they did it, right? Because the parity across the league. Because obviously Charlotte's not going to get the Miessi players, but we might get Mbappe. But do we do away with the salary cap and just let teams go at it, or do we get rid of the TAM GAM sort of thing and just? I mean, what's your thoughts?
So what I would do if I was a commissioner, I would increase to at least one more DP.
Yeah,
I would keep DPs because a mess, even if and I would keep the cap, but I would increase it. But even if you increase the cap, you still could not make the Miessi deal happen because the cap is not going to be that big. You're not going to get NFL caps, right?
Right.
So they still could never afford a Miessi. So you still need the DP mechanism there so you can get a player like that. But then just wipe out the GAM, the TAM, all those other crazy rules, and just raise the salary cap. So because part of the problem too is with this TAM money, targeted allocated money is, your American center back can't get that money. It's intended for the young foreign players and things like that, or to buy down foreign players. So some of these young players that are maybe MLS journeymen, they don't have that money available to them. Right. So there's all these mechanisms in place that it's like the bucket, isn't fair, right? So just make one big ass bucket and let the teams figure out how their money is dispersed.
Yeah,
big ass bucket. Big ass bucket.
But I still
big ass bucket.
But I still do believe in a cap because that's just an American thing. It makes sense. We know how, you if you don't have a cap, you're going to have teams like LAFC, Inter Miami, and LA Galaxy, a few others that are going to spend crazy. Yeah. And then you're going to have, and I don't know where Charlotte fits in that. I imagine it's got some pockets. I don't know how much.
Our owner did say he would spend if he could. Now, obviously, you say that, yeah, right. But you say that while you can't, right? It would be a different story if they would open it up. If he really would open up the checkbook and just.
But the thing is, he can still. Charlotte could have signed Miessi. Now he wouldn't have gone. But the point is, they could make their own big splash.
Yeah.
Right. You could find that player that you have to pay $50 to $60 million a year to.
Yeah.
But I hear everybody at PSG is available.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that was the thing though, when we started up, right? Our previous president, Nick Kelly, had said the teams, 10 million for a DP is going to be about as high as we go, right? We're going to develop these players and sell them on. That's going to be the model. And then bring these young guys through the academy and that sort of thing, right? So that was the initial foundation. So yeah, it would be interesting to see if Tepper actually would open up his checkbook if the limit was raised.
And that's it. There's so many of these fans, and I see some of them in the chat and just throughout the league, that are calling on, Miami, how's this right, and all that. Miami's under a microscope, so they're doing everything's with at least the league's approval. What if it's cheating? It's league approved cheating. But
of course it is.
The teams that are people that are complaining you need to be complaining to your owners. Your owners are the ones. There's several clubs out there that are cheap, that don't want to spend. And so don't hate on a team that is willing to spend. I didn't hate on the LA Galaxy or LAFC because they opened up their pocketbook. Congratulations.
I wouldn't say we're hating on it.
Right? That's with every league, right? I mean, that's no matter what league, what sport, as far as the money-making ones, there's going to be owners who are going to shortchange it. They're in it just for the money. There's going to be owners who have a shit ton of money and bought the team, Saudi Arabia, whatever, because they don't care about the money. They have a different they'll throw everything they can at it. So
and it also being single entity, those cheap ass owners are still making money because Messi's gonna in this Messi example, Messi's gonna go play in Colorado eventually, right? We don't play Colorado that often, but I mean he's gonna go to play in Colorado eventually, and Kroenke's gonna be able to make a ton of money on upselling those tickets and things like that, and maybe even playing it in a bigger venue than their stadium. So all these owners are going to make the money. And also, like I said, it being a single entity, it's all going into one pot. They're all getting rich off of it. So, there's what there also needs to be, not just a salary cap, but a salary basement. That needs to be raised up as well.
Yeah.
So these cheap teams are forced to spend more.
I mean, that's a valid point. I hadn't even thought about that, right? I was thinking more of raising the ceiling versus bringing up the basement to the first.
Both.
Right? So, but yeah, I mean, to kind of wrap this up, I know we're getting close to the end of the show. I mean, not a Messi fan personally. I appreciate what he's done for the sport. I appreciate the eyes he's brought onto the league now. Hopefully that does help MLS grow and actually become a better league. With somebody with his clout coming in, it's obviously going to bring other players now are looking at MLS to do the same thing, right? Now, obviously, none of these players are going to get the kind of deal he got with Apple and Adidas and,
you never know if
now he owns Sacramento FC when they come on or whatever, right? But, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. How long is his contract for? 2 years?
2.5 with an option for a third.
Right
so
on.
My thought is, depending on how long it takes for that stadium to get built, it depends on the option, right? Like they want him to play in that stadium. They're going to pull the trigger on that option and do everything they can to convince him to sign on for another year if that stadium is not finished.
Just to get it paid for, right?
And I was just there. They haven't even started.
Out in front of it and name it after him as well before they even start playing there.
I mean, he's going to be a team. Well, he's also going to get equity in this club. So he is going to be an owner. Nobody's sure exactly what that equity stake is. There's been rumors of numbers, but nobody really knows. But so he'll be forever part of Inter Miami unless he sells off his stake.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I mean, with that being said, and you folks dropped the predictions in the chat here, but what do you think the score is going to be, JT, on Friday?
2-2. We win in penalties.
2-2. We win in penalties. All right, Peter, what do you think, man?
4-2. We win straight up, but we give up a little bit because our defense is slow and not that great. It could even go 4-3, but I'm going to say 4-2.
Yeah, I hear you. I think we're going to win 3-2. I've been saying that since Monday. I think we're actually going to win. We're going to be the first team that beats Miami with the Miessi effect. It's going to bring all this attention to Charlotte, and then we're going to go on here and ride off into the distance, man, and we're just going to be a great organization for as long as we exist.
I mean, it'll be good for you if it happens, for sure. But it's not just Miessi. Miessi's unlocking like so much of the other talent. Look at Benji Kormosky has become a star now. I think he'll find his way into the starting 11 after Gomez didn't do much this last game. So he's bringing up the level of other players. Robert Taylor is a completely new guy.
That's the one guy that stands out to me.
Yep,
sure, man. He looks like a new signing himself.
He is completely new.
Yeah.
Revitalized.
And no, I didn't jinx us because I called us that we were going to win 2-1 against Houston, and I got that right. So take that, defend the queen. So, yeah. So, I mean, with that being said, Peter, man, we really appreciate your time. And for all the Miami fans that jumped over, man, we appreciate everybody for being, interactive with us. And we'll get the telephone thing worked out for sure. Peter, man, where can people find you if they want to follow along on the Miami side of things?
Follow us at Football Miami TV. We're posting videos on YouTube every week. We've got a new one up today that me and Ed are trying a Miessi burger and a Miessi chicken sandwich. So we do a podcast like you guys, but we also do some fun videos in there where we rate food in the stadium and stuff like that. And we've got construction update videos. So follow us on YouTube at Football Miami TV. And then on all social media, we're at Football Miami TV as well.
Yeah. And and like I said, if you're new to the show or you're from the Miami side, hit that sub button for us, hit the like button for all the OGs. And as always, you can find us after the games outside the stadium doing the fan interviews every Wednesday night. We're here at 9:00. And I mean, with that being said, JT, anything you want to say?
Because I'm ready to get my vacation on. Miessi.
Yeah.